Good evening, Bulldog Nation, and welcome to Coach's Couch, 2026 version. New place, Smith Burger Company. Thank you, Smith Burger, for having us. RZ and Alex are still behind the scenes. A big shout out to them. Also, I want to take a moment just to say thank you to Dan and Chad for 2 years of great work on this show, kind of getting it lifted off and getting it to where it is today. So appreciate Dan and Chad. So this episode is not going to be your normal run of show, so to speak, Coach. It's more of a preseason, kind of what do we expect, how'd the summer go, and take a look at the roster, and we'll take a look at the schedule and some of the new IHSA stuff that's coming up that changed this year. So what we want you to do is fill up the chat with questions to ask Coach at the end. He's always ready for questions. He loves questions, and he'll answer them honestly. So first, I want to thank our sponsors. Our presenting sponsor is Fisher National Bank. And our segment sponsors this year are going to be Bergwald Eye Center, the Bill Craig team at Remax Realty Associates, Jody O'Malley at J Collective Homes, This Week in Bulldog Athletics, and the Bulldog Gridiron Club. Thank you to all those segment sponsors. And then also our coaches' couch sponsors. Our couch sponsors are Amy and Alex Giorgio. And then new this year is Twist and Shout, Dance and Cheer. So to all the couch supporters and the segment sponsors, thank you. You guys make this show happen. It all goes to Ryan and Alex Ziegler. They do a phenomenal job. So it's good to support these young guys. All right, Coach. 2026. Talk about how the summer's been going for your team.
Yeah, before I get started talking about this year in the summer, obviously got to give a shout out to Smith Burgers for not only hosting us, welcome them to town. We're excited to have them. My family and I have ate here a couple times already, and it's been awesome. So I think this is going to be a great place. And again, just thank you to them for having us here, so that way RZ can keep his show going. And thanks to them for purchasing a couch. Right, we couldn't do the RZ Coach's Couch show without a couch. So. And thank you too, Mike, for continuing this show as well. I know Dan and Chad are going to be missed, gave it a 2-year run, and you kind of picked up where they left off, and hopefully we're going to make it bigger and better with all the new technology and equipment here. And like you said, this show tonight's going to be a little different, not bringing on players or coaches or any community members, just going to kind of talk about the summer and maybe a little bit of preseason. But then next Wednesday, I'm sure we'll have a few boys up here that'll be ready to go for that Friday Night Lights, because it is just right around the corner. But to specifically answer your question, we had a tremendous offseason. I'm going to even go back before that. We had a tremendous offseason from the minute that we lost to Washington, right? Like, we walked off that field, and I already saw kids stepping up with leadership and kind of little rumblings here and there about, what do we have to do to get over the hump of that second round playoff loss? And seeing a team like Washington for the first time since I've been here in the last 8 years, kind of seeing who they are and what they're about. And again, if we're ever going to compete and make deep runs in the playoffs, it's going to be beating those teams, right? And so we knew that physicality was one of the things that we had to focus on this offseason, whether that's getting stronger in the weight room, and then certainly, just changing that mindset, right? Like, when we show up to a game like that, we have to match their intensity and their physicality. And unfortunately, we kind of started a little slow offensively. I'm not going to rehash that game, even though it's still in the back of my mind. But again, our kids, credit to them, and it just became a massive downpour. And unfortunately, we had to cancel the rest of that evening. But our linemen did very well in that, and certainly our 7-on-7 varsity team was in the semifinals doing well, and looking forward to getting in that championship game and hopefully winning it. So all in all, I would say our summer has been maybe exactly what I expected, if that makes sense. Anytime you return the core group of kids that we return, especially on the defensive side of the ball, returning 9 out of 11 starters, your expectation for the summer, for the offseason and the summer, is exactly what it was. And so I was really proud of our kids. Again, our leadership was great. Our work ethic was great. The attendance was awesome. And then to be able to perform the way that we did what was certainly great to see as a coach. And like I said, I think it's propelled us into this August start of the season and being ready to go.
Yeah, a lot of work goes into it just to get to, we're what, a week and a half away from the season opener, and I mean it's a lot of work that goes into it over the summer. But even before then, you're lifting, you're doing all this stuff, and the guys finally get on the field, even on 7-on-7. Get some reps. You guys can kind of see what you got, and they get to get out there and play football. So that's always exciting. So yeah, it's have you ever seen a July and August this rainy?
No. I mean, but like I told our kids, last night, or maybe it was even Monday night, I mean, the adversity that we've already dealt with, and we haven't even gotten to a week one or to a game for that matter. But the change in the schedule, the heat and having to go late at night, the rain, right? The storms and being forced to go in the field house. And it hasn't even been week one yet, right? Like it's been crazy. But again, throw on top of that the schedule change, right? The not having the dead week in the first week of August. That was different. That was new. Playing your first game in August 21st when you're used to playing it the following week on the 28th. There's been so many changes and things that we've had to adapt to, that again, I think our kids have handled this adversity so well. And like I told them, we're going to get to a game and adversity is going to pop, whether it's a turnover or something's going wrong, maybe we're down or whatever. And because of what all we've already handled, I know our kids are going to handle this, any other adversity that's thrown at us head on and stick together and battle through it together. And hopefully.
And your scheduling and all that.
Yeah. So basically the main reason was they added another week of playoffs. So in doing that, they still had to make sure that the state championship games were played on Thanksgiving weekend. So when you add a week, right, everything has to go this way. And so not only the first week, right, week one is now the 21st, which is a week earlier, but then you even start practice a week earlier, which was the old dead week, the first week of August, because this year we started practice on Wednesday, August 5th. And so there was no more dead week anymore. There's no more IHSA mandatory a week off, so to speak, in that first week of August. That being said, we took it upon ourselves as a coaching staff. I just firmly believe that there is so much value in that week off. Go be a kid. Go on vacation. Regroup, right? Get yourself mentally prepared and refreshed and ready to go for what could potentially be a long grind of a season, and to possibly go from July 4th all the way through November, again, to me, just didn't make a lot of sense. And so we decided to give them that last week of July off. Obviously, mandatory start time was Wednesday the 5th, so you got to make sure that you're practicing then. So give them a little time off before that start date. Like I said, refresh, regroup, go be a kid and enjoy a little bit of your summer at least. So that's what we decided to do. Again, I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's wrong. It's uncharted territories, right? Or water we've never been in, so to speak. And so we tried it. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I think from what I've seen so far, our kids have handled it really well. This new added playoff week is going to be interesting because now 8 teams are going to receive a Week 10 bye, which again is something new. We've never had a bye week in the state of Illinois outside of maybe a COVID game getting canceled, or like right now, if a varsity team's canceling and you can't replace it. But I've never been a part of a bye in the state of Illinois. Luckily for me, the 1 year I was at Florida, we had a bye week. And so I'm a little bit familiar with it and kind of how things went, maybe what I would do differently. So taking some of that stuff that I've learned from that experience, and then certainly reaching out to other guys that I know from other states who are used to having these buys. If we're fortunate enough to get a Week 10 bye, I feel really good about the idea or the plan that we have in place to approach that bye week. Again, maybe right, maybe wrong. No idea. Never done it before in this, in these terms and in this state. So we'll see how it goes. But again, if we're in that boat and we're one of the top 8 teams, then we're sitting in a pretty good spot either way.
Yeah, because I mean that bye week, that first week of the playoffs, that could be huge for any team. I mean that's a big leg up. I mean if you don't have to play that first weekend of the playoffs, you get to sit out. Some coaches don't like to sit out.
I was just going to say, it depends on who you talk to, right? Like some coaches are all about it, a week to rest and recover, and maybe you get guys back off of injury. And then there's the other side of coaches that are like, no, we're rolling right now. Like we don't want a week off or time off. And, we just want to continue to keep this thing going and keep our schedule normal and the same. And so, again, it is what it is. It's new, and we're all going to have to find a way to adapt or die, basically. And like I said, I like our idea of a plan if we're fortunate enough to get in that situation.
Yeah. So a lot of changes on the front end, and a lot of changes on the back end potentially. So yeah, it's good to see that you guys are adapting, still giving the kids and their families a dead week, so to speak.
The one thing that I felt truly bad about is a couple of those families who had a vacation already scheduled on dead week, and maybe it's a family destination thing that had maybe been planned for a year or two, and they couldn't get out of it, right? Like I felt bad for those families, and fortunately, unfortunately, we had a couple freshman families that were in that situation, and they had to miss that first week of practice, and like I said, I felt bad for them, but they understood the rule change and everything, and so it is what it is. Now we know moving forward, right? So don't schedule a vacation in the first week of August next year. So
yeah, if you've ever had a child in the football program, you know that was the one week. I mean, you can almost lock it in. So
exactly.
And then if you make those plans well in advance, yeah, that could be an issue. So kudos to you guys for working with the schedule and the change and all that. So speaking of schedule, let's go ahead and take a look at what's coming up this season for the Bulldogs. Coming off a 7-4 season last year, 4-1 in the conference. I know that one conference loss probably stings a little bit, but probably maybe some bulletin board material there. But let's get into this. But when I looked at the schedule, it's a little different than past several years. We've traveled to Quincy, we traveled to Sycamore, we traveled to Morris. Where else have we? I mean, we've been all over the place. And then, now we open up against Morton, which is kind of a tradition. It's become a great rivalry. Both teams want to beat each other like no other. So we'll look forward to seeing Morton. But we got U-High. We'll kind of go into each one a little bit. But then also Central. So, I mean, we got some teams that we're going to be playing. I consider them pretty local. Bloomington's 45 minutes away, Champaign's 15 minutes away. There's going to be great opportunities for you guys out there to come and support these Bulldogs on the road. And I know these players, they love the support at home, but when you guys show up on the road, it's a different element.
Oh,
so
no doubt. Yeah, and again, to that point, our fans are awesome, and you're traveling 2.5 and sometimes 3 hours away. The support that we've gotten then, I can't wait to see what it's going to be like 30 minutes up the road and 15 minutes up the road. Our fans are awesome, and they give us so much support. The kids feed off of that energy. But like you said, the schedule is a little different this year outside of Morton and then our conference games. U-High in week 2 at home, a new foe that we're not necessarily familiar with. Obviously,
that's an old Corn Belt foe there. That goes back to my day. Oh, man.
That's right. Back in the day. That's right. But our coaching staff will do a great job when it gets that time to week 2, and we're excited to play U-High and the opportunity just a couple years ago. They were in a semifinal game and right. So great program. Brody does a great job with those guys. And then certainly week 3, the new matchup with Champaign Central. Again, excited for that opportunity. Just 13 minutes up the road here for this year, and next year we'll get them at home. And again, what a great opportunity for us, to play a local school and not have to travel too far. But like you said, losing Sycamore and Morris, we needed to pick up somebody. And fortunately or unfortunately, it was hard to find games, and a lot of teams said no to us. And so luckily for us, thank you to U-High and Champaign Central for wanting to take that on that game, and then, having a home and away contract we're excited for those opportunities. And then week 9, we're actually now back to playing Bloomington. We played Bloomington back in Mason's Day, and we kind of took a couple years off there to go play Richwoods. Well, their schedule's changed, and so now we're back to playing Bloomington in week 9, and it'll be home this year for senior night. So looking forward to that as well. And then, like you said, there in the middle, our conference games, Taylorville's going to be loaded this year. They return their quarterback, who's a stud, plus a bunch of other nice pieces. We get them in week 4. Week 5, we go to Mount Zion. Like you mentioned, they knocked us off last year, and fortunately or unfortunately, we kind of have bigger goals than maybe winning the conference. But the expectation is to win the conference. And we didn't do that last year. And that left a sour taste in our kids' mouths. So they're certainly going to be up for that game, as they are all other conference games, because they want that conference crown back. And so, week 5, when we travel to Mount Zion, that should be another great one. Week 6, we actually then go to Effingham, right? 4, 5, 6. So 6 we're at Effingham, and then we're back home for 7, 8, and 9 with Charleston, Mattoon, and Bloomington. So
yeah, that's one thing. When I look at the schedule, you've got 5 home games, which is awesome. You got 4 road games. Those 4 road games are right in a row. Week 3 through week 6. And then you finish the season off at home. I can't remember a time where there was a schedule that was like that. It's usually kind of mix and match. You'd have a couple back-to-back home games. I mean, that's 4 weeks on the road. So you guys going to be some road warriors there.
It is definitely going to be interesting, right? Again, another opportunity for adversity. Not playing a home game in 4 straight weeks is different. Something we're not used to. So we'll be prepared and we'll be ready to go when that time comes.
Yeah. And then homecoming will be October 9th. And then senior night will be October 16th. So a little bit later homecoming, I believe, than in previous years. But we're on the road the other weekend. So
exactly, yeah.
So, well, that kind of wraps up this segment. Went over the schedule, and we'll come back. We'll talk about some of the players, projected starters and returners. You're watching the Coach's Couch, presented by Fisher National Bank. We'll be back in just a moment.
Coach's Couch is proudly brought to you by our 2025 sponsors. Our presenting sponsor, Fisher National Bank. Segment sponsors, Jody O'Malley with J Collect.
Better banking is about more than just money. It's about people. Fisher National Bank is locally owned community bank serving all of Mahomet Seymour. We're your friends and neighbors.
Coach's Couch is
Better banking is about more than just money. It's about people. Fisher National Bank is locally owned community bank serving all of Mahomet Seymour. We're your friends and neighbors who take a vested interest in the Mahomet area. Last year alone, Fisher National volunteered over 1,100 hours of community service. Fisher National Bank is in your corner by investing in the people we serve. Learn more about us at fishernational.com or come see us in Mahomet on Oak Street. Fisher National Bank. Exceptional communities, exceptional people. Member FDIC.
Greetings, Bulldog Nation. The Bulldog Gridiron Club is a non-profit organization made up of parents and community members whose goal is to enhance the reputation and tradition of Mahomet Seymour Bulldog football and cheerleading
just a little bit.
Support and
now
community
it's
outreach.
bad again.
To learn more about what we've done, what we have planned, and how you can help support our student athletes, visit our website for more information. Go Bulldogs.
Hey Bulldog Nation, the Couch Sticker Club is here. For just $5, you can rep the couch and help us keep the show rolling. DM us or swing by during a show to get yours. Join the club, rep the couch.
This week in Bulldog Athletics is the leader in Mahomet Seymour Junior High and High School athletics. Not only providing you with daily game recaps of all sports, but also providing captivating photography, graphics, and videography to showcase our Bulldog athletes. Give TWIBA a follow on our socials, and remember, it's always a great day to be a Bulldog.
Coach's Couch is made possible by supporters like you. Don't have a business but still want to help? Become a couch sponsor and help us bring weekly coverage of Bulldog football all season long. Contact us at the information on your screen to join the team today.
Looking for high-quality pro audio? Movo is your solution. The WMX2 Duo is perfect for interviews, podcasts, or presentations with its wireless, hassle-free audio. Upgrade your audio with Movo today. Shop the WMX2 Duo at movo.com. Movo. Creators wanted.
Better banking is about more than just money. It's about people. Fisher National Bank is locally owned community bank serving all of Mahomet Seymour. We're your friends and neighbors who take a vested interest in the Mahomet area. Last year alone, Fisher National volunteered over 1,100 hours of community service. Fisher National Bank is in your corner by investing in the people we serve. Learn more about us at fishernational.com or come see us in Mahomet on Oak Street. Fisher National Bank. Exceptional communities, exceptional people. Member FDIC.
Greetings, Bulldog Nation. The Bulldog Gridiron Club is a non-profit organization made up of parents and community members whose goal is to enhance the reputation and tradition of Mahomet Seymour Bulldog football and cheerleading through financial support and community outreach. To learn more about what we've done, what we have planned, and how you can help support our student athletes, visit our website for more information. Go Bulldogs!
Hey,
Back to you, buddy. All right, welcome back to the Coach's Couch presented by Fisher National Bank. During this segment, we're going to talk about some of our Bulldog football players. Coach, each year we graduate a lot of seniors, quite a few starters. This year is no different. Let's start with the offense. We'll go from there. Let's start up front with the guys in the trenches, the unsung heroes on offense. Talk about those guys a little bit and kind of your expectations for them coming into this year and kind of what are you seeing from those guys?
Yeah, no doubt. If you're going to start anywhere, it's good to start with the guys up front, right? That's definitely where you win and lose ball games, no doubt. And unfortunately, we lost 4 seniors from that offensive line last year. Oliver Smith, both Daniels, Phillip, and Noah, and then Josh Craig. So anytime you lose 4 offensive linemen, it's not a good spot you want to be in. However, that being said, last year, the kids that we have starting now -1 were able to get a lot of playing time due to some injuries during the year. I'll never forget, we're in the we're in the Marion playoff game, and Josh Craig's mouthpiece comes out, right? So Camden Ashby goes in a playoff game in a crucial part of the game where we needed a first down. It might have even been Diesel now that I say that, right? So he's been able to get some experience. Eli went in at tackle when Phil went down with an injury, and certainly Smizer has not only had a great JV season in the past, but he was able to get some varsity time as well. So, and then Lane returns. Lane Schultz is our one returning starter off of last year's team. So we feel really good about the guys that we have up front. Left tackle is going to be Eli Dyer. Then we go Owen Smizer at left guard, Camden Ashby at center, Lane Schultz at right guard, and then Sam Cobb, the new one on the block, I guess, if you will, at right tackle. Sam's a sophomore, and this is how much we think of Sam, that we almost brought him up last year as a freshman. We decided to hold him down and let him stay down there and have some success, but we were very close to bringing him up last year as a freshman and putting him on varsity. And anybody that knows me knows I don't bring kids up unless we play them. And so that's how close he was, and at the same time, that's how much confidence we have in Sam. And then the like I said, the off season that Sam had was tremendous, and he's had a great summer. And although he might be a sophomore on the roster, we don't feel like he plays like a sophomore. And so that's a great great thing for us to have. But yeah, feel really good about those 5 guys up front, and then you know, when you could put some guys next to them, such as the Coy Benways and the Will Selks of the world, you know, tight ends and H-backs type players, to help them in the run game. Those two have been doing a great job as well. Obviously, Coy's going to be a senior and Will's going to be a junior. They've been helping out those guys up front in the offensive line and creating more holes for the dynamic duo that returns, and Marco Casillas and Cody Moen.
Yeah,
So.
and before we get to them, because I'm going to touch on them, because they had phenomenal seasons last year, but we got a new quarterback. You've had a string of really good quarterbacks. Talk about Connor Fisher. He's going to come in. He's going to do a fantastic job. What are you seeing out of Connor this early?
You know, again, we've seen from Connor over the last couple of years just how dynamic of a quarterback he is. You know, he can throw the deep ball, he can sling it across the middle on a line, and he can tuck it and run it if he needs to. And I think that's what makes him so valuable and so special. And like I said, we saw this his freshman and even sophomore year. And then on top of that, to be able to watch and learn and study under Rhino last year, and then certainly Luke the year before, he's been able to develop and pick up some of their great habits that they've had. And like I said, it's continuing to make him a complete quarterback. And that's pretty special, you know, and then being coached up by Coach Pogue on a day in, day out basis, you know, he's just naturally going to get better. Right. And I think for me personally, the biggest growth that I've seen Connor take this summer has been in his leadership role. I mean, even tonight at practice, just how vocal he was and the command that he is taking of his offense as a whole has been great to watch and see. And so again, we know what Connor can do on the field. It's the stuff that he's doing off the field and on the sidelines and in the locker room that's really, like I said, not only propelling our team, but certainly propelling that offense. And they know who's in charge, and we're going to go as Connor goes. And like I said, he's had a great summer, and looking forward to him having a great year.
Yeah, that's what I've had the privilege to watch him freshman JV, and yeah, I mean he's going to be the guy, and I've talked to him a couple times in passing, and you know I've kind of teased him a little bit and was kind of serious with him a couple times, and every time the way he answered, he's been waiting for this moment.
Yeah.
And I don't think the moment's going to be too big for him. He's got a great crew around him. You know, not only on the offensive line, but you know, coaches. I mean, he's confident, but not overconfident.
Absolutely. And one of the things, to your point about the moment not being too big for him, is, you know, last year as a sophomore, he got some varsity basketball playing time, and we're in a regional championship game, and this sophomore comes in the game and is knocking down threes and diving on the floor. Right. So he's had that. He knows what it feels like to be in those big time games and those varsity moments. And so absolutely, you're 100% right. The moment's not going to be too big for him. And at the same time, he's got a little grit and a little chip on his shoulder of, it is my time, and I'm going to show everybody what I can do. And so again, excited to see his season this year.
Yeah, and he's got a little bit of swagger too, so which you need that. So yeah, we look forward to watching Fisher this year lead the Bulldogs. Behind him, let's talk about these guys for a little bit. Maybe I'll just let you just go ahead. But yeah,
special.
Yeah,
I mean, when I think of those two, I think of special. You know, and the crazy part is, and I told the news this the other day, like we truly don't have a number one running back and a number two running back. We have a 1A and a 1B, and that's exactly how valuable they are to us. You know, those two kind of feed off each other and piggyback off each other, you know, and you know, they kind of know it themselves when, hey, I just had two really good runs and I need a breather, and hey, come get me because I know you're going to have two great runs. And like I said, they work so well together and are such good friends. And like I said, thunder and lightning, if you will, right? I know they use that cliche a lot and for some dynamic duo running backs in the NFL, but that's just it. You know, Marco can run through you and Cody can run around you. And just when you think that Cody's going to run around you, then he's going to run through you. And don't fall asleep on Marco's speed either. He made some of our DBs miss today as well. And again, just special. Those two are special kids. They're such hard workers. And again, we're so lucky and fortunate to have those two in the backfield behind Connor.
Yeah. Being down on the field, watching the games last year, I do not want to be in the way of Marco Casillas when he's coming down the sideline full steam ahead. Just a great athlete all around, wrestling. And Cody, they're very different runners, but there's a lot of similarity. They both, I've seen them both break ankles.
And they're both tough as nails, right?
Yeah.
They're so durable. Unfortunately, Cody suffered a fluke injury last year that kind of kept him out towards the latter part of the season there. But man, when you think of the word toughness, those two have to be in at least your top 5. I mean, that's how tough they are for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a blessing to have those two in your backfield. It gives you a lot of options. And speaking of options, I mean, if you're going to run the ball like you think you're going to be able to, which we know you'll be able to, that opens up the outside. It opens up the inside. I mean, it opens up a lot of things for the offense. So let's talk about the guys on the edge, out at wideouts. What do you got there?
Yeah, again, Bryson Tiefenthaler coming in as a senior has started since he was a sophomore, and he's really been a great leader for that wide receiver room. And if I could video what lead by example is, he would be the textbook video. I mean, I've never seen a kid work as hard as he does day in and day out in those indie drills. And again, setting a great example for all the other wide receivers that are watching him work. Joe Roller's another senior who's a part of that wide receiver room. Noah Snyder, Jackson Golden, Preston Branson. I could go on for days about this room as a whole and how special they are from a standpoint of, if you try to take away Bryson, then we got Jackson. You try to take away Jackson, we got Joe. And then all of a sudden, here comes Noah. And don't forget about Marco and Cody, because they can catch the ball as well. So, again, just the luxury to be able to have that dynamic of a wide receiver room has been incredibly special. And like you said, if teams are going to load the box to stop our run and take away our run, luckily for us, we got some really good weapons that we can throw it to as well. And then vice versa. You try to stop the pass, we feel really good about our running game.
Yeah, we're gonna attack everybody at different angles. It's gonna be fun to watch for sure. Let's switch over to defense, and we'll do the same thing. We'll start with the guys up in the trenches. These guys are hungry. Talk about them a little bit.
Yeah, again, on the defensive line, we losing Noah Frank, and what a special kid and leader he was for our defense as a whole, but certainly the box and the defensive line. But what's been great to see is who's that next guy, who's going to step up and kind of fill Noah's role. And it's been awesome to watch them all do it. Javon's become more vocal this year than he's ever been. The big boy at the nose guard, he comes back again. I'm sure teams are going to get tired of seeing him. Like, how is this kid still around? Luckily, he's going into his junior year. And then on the edges, Luke Boo and Slayton Deck again. Slayton started last year. Luke got a ton of playing time in a rotational position. And those two have taken on the leadership role as well. So I've just been incredibly proud and excited, I guess, maybe more so for those three guys up front. Braden Grady is another kid who I know you're probably going to ask me this later about, who's a sleeper pick. Keep him on your roster, and you're going to want to circle that number because he's going to have a great year this year. He's a senior. He's long. He's athletic. He's had a great summer. Incredible athlete and a special football player for us. So you're going to hear his name mentioned a lot amongst those other three that I mentioned as well. So definitely excited about them. I'll let you maybe segue into the next line, or if you want me to.
Yeah. Well. I was up here the other night getting a burger, and I got a milkshake, and I went over to get a milkshake, and there's Javon behind the counter. And I was talking to him a little bit, and I'm like, hey, looking forward to the season, and Javon, he's always smiling, and he's like, oh, yeah, we're ready. I'm like, what can you tell me? He's like, I can't tell you anything. So he's definitely focused. But, yeah, he's like Slayton Deck. It's like shades of Javon Irwin.
Absolutely.
Maybe you probably wouldn't picture him on the line. But speed and
toughness.
Toughness. Right? That's what it takes. It takes toughness. And all those guys that you mentioned, they're all tough. I want them in my corner. So, yeah, let's keep on moving through the defense. I'll kind of let you segue wherever you want to go with it.
Yep. So we can move to the linebacker core. And, again, luckily for us, all three of them started last year. Talon Decker, Boback, and Colin Hammerschmidt. Colin was a sophomore last year and kind of maybe a deer in headlights in the first couple weeks, right? Getting his feet wet, going from freshman ball to varsity ball. But he just continued to progress as the season went on and obviously did some special things for us in the playoff games. And then just the offseason he had, if you saw him now, you probably wouldn't even recognize him, just how bigger and stronger he's gotten. And his summer has been incredible. I can't wait to see the season that he has this year. You know, Boback returning again as another starter, a senior, the guy in the middle that kind of takes charge. He's our vocal rah-rah guy that's making all of our calls and checks and making sure that everybody's in the right spot. He's going to have a great senior year as well. And then Talon Decker, another senior. Last year in week 1 and week 2, Talon set the school record for most tackles in a game. That's pretty special to be able to return a player like that as well. So again, we feel really good about that linebacking core. And again, what you probably will circle or not have circled in your roster, but I'm telling you that they're special kids as well, is 2 more seniors in Dylan Derrickson and Isaiah Brotherton. You know, they're going to be more rotational guys for us this year, but when and or if, when I should say they get their shot, they're going to be ready to go. Those two have, again, worked incredibly hard for these last 4 years, but have more so had a great summer. And when their time's called, they're going to be ready to go. And I'm excited for those two to have a great senior year as well.
Yeah. Decker had a phenomenal year last year. So did Boback. I mean, all those guys. I mean, they're tough. They're ball hawks. You know, they're one to punish somebody, and I've got photos to prove it.
No doubt.
You know, they like to just plow people right into the ground. You know, a little different than the guys up front, but they like to hit them hard, and no, they're a big part of that defense. So yeah, go ahead and keep going.
Yeah, so in the secondary, Pierce Douglas returns, again, another kid who started last year. He's coming back for his senior year, and once again, great offseason. Pierce is no doubt one of our best athletes we have in our program, let alone on that side of the ball. So certainly looking for big and special things from Pierce this year. Bradley Jones also started last year in the secondary. He returns for us. And then Aiden Bannister and Braden Thompson both kind of got some situational playing time last year on the varsity level at times and spots and whatnot. So to be able to return those 2 kids as well is pretty special. You know, like I said, already having their feet wet with the Friday night lights feel and game reps on a Friday night is certainly special. Our kind of newcomer, I guess, if you will, is a name that sounds familiar to most. Vanderveer, you can remember that for a couple years years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
We've moved Wren to the defensive side of the ball, and you know, we saw it firsthand last year when he was on kickoff, just how tough and physical he was, and that's from his, you know, a wrestling and gymnastic background. He's an incredible athlete, and then more so, he's incredibly tough. So we moved him to the defensive side of the ball, and we thought, you know, Brock was such a good defensive player. You got the same last name. Hey, you can come be a good defensive player for us too, right? Should work out. But yeah, Wren has done an awesome job this summer as well. And like I said, just his toughness and physicality play, he's going to have a great senior year as well. And we're looking forward to it and excited for it.
Good deal. Well, we can't go on without talking about special teams. Jackson Davis graduated, all-time, probably one of the best kickers we've had up there with Walmer and some other guys. I mean, he's right there with the big names that have come through this program. So those are big shoes to fill. Who's going to fill those?
Yeah. Luckily for us, we have a great soccer program here at Mahomet Seymour High School, and we were able to kind of share duties with one of the soccer kids, Tate Kimball, who's going to be a senior, is going to be our kicker this year. Kickoffs and PATs. Cohen Wanger is another special teams kicker that we have available as well. We might have to miss Tate, you know, for a soccer tournament here or there. So Cohen will certainly be ready to handle those duties. And then Nathan Stabler is actually going to be our punter. He's done a great job of that. Again, a sophomore, but as can handle the load. We saw that last year as a freshman, kind of knew that he would be our punter going into this year. And like I said, he's done a great job up to this point. And then quick little shout out to Kale Arbogast. You know, he's our long snapper and even short snapper on the PAT. Sometimes those guys don't get enough love, but it's an incredibly important job, right? It's got to be a perfect snap or we might get something blocked or, have to, roll out and do something crazy if it's a bad snap on the PAT. So Kale's done a great job, had a great senior, or is going to have a great senior year as well. So shout out to our special teamers for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So to end this segment, you've kind of touched on a couple of them, and I'm going to challenge you to not mention those guys again and come up, because I like every week when you guys put out the dogs of the week. It's always I always like the scout teams because those scout team guys, we see them next year at the varsity though. We see them on Friday Night Lights. Those are the guys working hard in practice. They probably could potentially play our offense or defense better than our opponent that week. So they do a huge job. But give me just one or two guys that you haven't mentioned yet.
That I haven't mentioned yet, okay. On the offensive side of the ball, I failed to mention Jackson Tiefenthaler. And again, unfortunately for Jackson, he's behind Marco and Cody. But that's not to say that Jackson's too far behind him, right? Like, last year we saw Cody went down with that injury, and we brought up Jackson as a freshman. And again, that's how much confidence we had in Jackson. And Jackson got some Friday night playing time as a freshman and ran the ball really well. And so we're excited to get Jackson back as a sophomore, and you're going to see him out on the field in a couple different sets that we have. And he's going to get his name called because, again, he's absolutely worthy of it. He's a special player that is going to do great things, even though he's just in his sophomore year. And on the defensive side of the ball, another name that I haven't mentioned yet is another sophomore, Hunter Nussmeier. Hunter is kind of our rotational extra DB guy, if you will. And Hunter might not be the biggest kid in the world, size and weight-wise, but I guarantee you he's up there as one of the toughest. Last year played through a couple nagging injuries, and you would never know it, right? He's still out there flying around, hitting people as hard as he can, and he had to get surgery when the season was over, right? So that's just how tough he is, and again, he's gonna have a special year, even though he is just in his sophomore year.
Yeah, that's a great recap of the roster. There's probably some guys that, obviously there are guys that we haven't mentioned, but that's always the exciting part. There's going to be times when these guys step up, and we're like, yeah,
We need them to.
it's not going to be any surprise to you guys, but for us, it's like that's a new name for us, and then we're going to talk about him for sure. So yeah, great recap. Hey, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to return here on the Coach's Couch presented by Fisher National Bank. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Coach's Couch, and go also share and follow all the socials for the Coach's Couch on Instagram and on Facebook. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back to wrap it up. Put any questions that you have in the chat. We've got a few here, but go ahead and put them in the chat. Anything you want to ask Coach, let it rip. We'll be back.
Hey, Bulldog Nation, the Couch Sticker Club is here. For just $5, you can rep the couch and help us keep the show rolling. DM us or swing by during a show to get yours. Join the club, rep the couch.
This week in Bulldog Athletics is the leader in Mahomet Seymour Junior High and High School athletics. Not only providing you with daily game recaps of all sports, but also providing captivating photography, graphics, and videography to showcase our Bulldog athletes. Give TWIBA a follow on our socials, and remember, it's always a great day to be a Bulldog.
Coach's Couch is made possible by supporters like you. Don't have a business but still want to help? Become a couch sponsor and help us bring weekly coverage of Bulldog football all season long. Contact us at the information on your screen to join the team today.
Looking for high-quality pro audio? Movo is your solution. The WMX2 Duo is perfect for interviews, podcasts, or presentations with its wireless, hassle-free audio. Upgrade your audio with Movo today. Shop the WMX2 Duo at movo.com. Movo. Creators wanted.
Better banking is about more than just money. It's about people. Fisher National Bank is locally owned community bank serving all of Mahomet Seymour. We're your friends and neighbors who take a vested interest in the Mahomet area. Last year alone, Fisher National volunteered over 1,100 hours of community service. Fisher National Bank is in your corner by investing in the people we serve. Learn more about us at fishernational.com or come see us in Mahomet on Oak Street. Fisher National Bank, exceptional communities, exceptional people, member FDIC.
Greetings, Bulldog Nation. The Bulldog Gridiron Club is a non-profit organization made up of parents and community members whose goal is to enhance the reputation and tradition of Mahomet Seymour Bulldog football and cheerleading through financial support and community outreach. To learn more about what we've done, what we have planned, and how you can help support our student athletes, visit our website for more information. Go Bulldogs!
Hey, Bulldog Nation, the Couch Sticker Club is here. For just $5, you can rep the couch and help us keep the show rolling. DM us or swing by during a show to get yours. Join the club, rep the couch.
This week in Bulldog Athletics is the leader in Mahomet Seymour Junior High and High School athletics. Not only providing you with daily game recaps of all sports, but also providing captivating photography, graphics, and videography to showcase our Bulldog athletes. Give TWIBA a follow on our socials, and remember, it's always a great day to be a Bulldog.
Coach's Couch is made possible by supporters like you. Don't have a business but still want to help? Become a couch sponsor and help us bring weekly coverage of Bulldog football all season long. Contact us at the information on your screen to join the team today.
Looking for high-quality pro audio? Movo is your solution. The WMX2 Duo is perfect for interviews, podcasts, or presentations with its wireless, hassle-free audio. Upgrade your audio with Movo today. Shop the WMX2 Duo at movo.com. Movo. Creators wanted.
Better banking is about more than just money. It's about people. Fisher National Bank is locally owned community bank serving all of Mahomet Seymour. We're your friends and neighbors who take a vested interest in the Mahomet area. Last year alone, Fisher National volunteered over 1,100 hours of community service. Fisher National Bank is in your corner by investing in the people we serve. Learn more about us at fishernational.com or come see us in Mahomet on Oak Street. Fisher National Bank, exceptional communities, exceptional people, member FDIC.
Greetings, Bulldog Nation. The Bulldog Gridiron Club is a non-profit organization made up of parents and community members whose goal is to enhance the reputation and tradition of Mahomet Seymour Bulldog football and cheerleading through financial support and community outreach. To learn more about what we've done, what we have planned, and how you can help support our student athletes, visit our website for more information. Go Bulldogs!
When he points at you, that means we're back.
I didn't see it.
He did.
Okay, welcome back to the Coach's Couch.
The couches coach.
Coach's Couch, presented by Fisher National Bank. Welcome back. We're going to tie off this first episode, week 0, we're calling it, with some Q&A with Coach. We got a few questions here. The first one is from Jake Rohde. What are your goals for this football season?
Well, my goal is always to win a state championship, and I think that's a realistic goal. That's why I took this job. I truly believe that we can get it done here at this school. I believe in my coaching staff. I think I have the best coaching staff in the state of Illinois, hands down. And I believe in our players. I believe in the support from our community. I absolutely think that is and should be our goal each and every year. That being said, we want to also win the conference title back. You know, we talked earlier about the sore taste in the mouth, letting that one slip away last year. We want to get that back. And then on top of that, we certainly want to go further than the second round. You know, we want to get back to the days of, you know, the 2 years in a row where, you know, we were in the quarterfinals and we were making a nice little run. You're not going to get to the state championship game if you don't get past the second round, right? So we always want to do better than we did the previous year, and that's winning the conference back, and that's getting past the second round. But at the end of the day, I want us to win a state title. And like I said, I truly believe that we can do that. I would not be still sitting here today if I didn't think we could do that. So yeah, that's the ultimate goal.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jake, for the great question. Next question from Bass X Bucks. How many home games do you have this season? And we kind of talked about that a little bit, but how do you like road versus home as far as momentum?
Well, okay, I'll start by saying this. There's no place like Frank Dutton Field on a Friday night, whether it's the fireworks, the walking down the sidewalk there, the band, the cheerleaders, our atmosphere as a whole. DJ Yancey playing like I could go on for days, right? Just about the atmosphere that our kids get a chance to be a part of, I think is just so special. And again, one of the reasons why I'm here, right? We've heard the story before that when I was in high school and came and watched a game here, it's what made me fall in love with this place was the atmosphere of home games on Frank Dutton Field. And so if I had to choose, I'm always choosing a home game, no doubt about it. There is something special to being able to go on the road and kind of not necessarily upsetting the other team, but kind of stealing one from them, right? You never want to lose a home game. Usually at home, that's when you get the most fans out and grandmas and grandpas, right, that maybe don't travel. Like you're going to get probably the most support. And so anytime you can go on the road and kind of steal that victory or come away on the bus, it just makes the bus rides all that special. And that's something that's pretty special for a coach, to be able to share those moments and enjoy that time with them in the locker room after the game. But then they go home when you're at home, right? Like a bus ride home gets pretty fun and gets pretty crazy. And it's a fun time to share with those kids and be a part of. And so I like both. Certainly I like winning. You got to make sure that you win. Nobody wants to lose. That'd be a long bus ride home if you lose. But you got to win first. But then even on top of that, I like playing either home or away, but if I had to choose, I'm definitely playing at Frank Dutton Field for sure.
Yeah, and just to kind of go off that question of what was asked. I mean, you start off with 2 home games. That's where you want to start. You want to start at home, and then your stretch in the middle is your road games, and then you end it at home, and then you go right into the playoffs. So having 3 weeks in a row, the last 3 weeks, 7, 8, 9 are at home. So that could be an advantage. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. Let's see if there's any other questions. Yes, RZ says the hats will still be for sale if you want to purchase one. That question was asked. Do we have questions from the live audience?
What's your question?
Come on up here.
Oh, you don't have to come up here. What's your question? Oh,
which
great
game
question.
Are you most excited for this season and why? Is that for me or is that for Coach? Both?
I am most excited for week 1. I love Dawgapalooza. I love being at home in week 1. I love just kind of getting the season started and going and getting that first game under your belt. I'm excited to see our kids play. Like I said, there's nothing better than a Friday night, running through the tunnel, especially being at home and like I said, watching our kids perform. And then on top of that, like we mentioned earlier, Morton and the good little rivalry we got going, it should be a fantastic game. They're going to be really good this year, loaded with talent, and as are we. And so I'm excited for that week 1 home opener against Morton. Good question.
What about you?
That's a great question. Yeah, it's probably going to be that at Mount Zion game. It's going to be a rematch. 2 great teams going to battle it out. I like our Bulldogs going on the road to Mount Zion. It's always, as you call it, a hostile environment. I mean, when we were there a couple years ago, I don't know if we thought we might lose that game, and then we ended up dominating. So I like our chances on the road there. So I got that game circled at Mount Zion.
Love it.
Jack, what about your game? You got to answer the question too.
Yeah, what about you? What's your most excited game that you're looking forward to?
I don't know. Probably Champaign Central because it's the first road game.
Oh, like it. Champaign Central because it's the first road game.
There you go.
There you go. Love
He's
it.
a roadie.
What's your question?
Is the most funniest on the headset in a game?
Oh, who's the funniest on the headset in the game? Well,
Be
I'll tell you
careful,
this.
Coach. Be careful.
I got to be careful. If you were asking my assistants, they would say me, because of my commentary. I like to talk through almost every single play, especially on kickoff return. I get so scared that they're going to run it back for a touchdown, and so I like to talk through the whole time. However, if you ever get a chance, or anybody ever gets a chance to listen to the defensive side of the ball, those guys are some characters. The offensive side of the ball is pretty serious the majority of the game. Coach Berner's usually always focused and locked in. Coach Pogue is as well. You know, those guys they're dialed in. The defensive side of the ball, there's some clowns, and there's times where things will be going bad, and somebody just has to make a joke to keep each other from fighting each other. It gets pretty entertaining on that side of the ball. So I would say Coach George and Coach Turek and Coach Begner, those guys specifically, they're pretty funny on the headset. Great question.
You know why you got these two youngsters up here? I think you know them pretty well. The best picture, one of my favorite pictures last year I got during football season was of your mother.
Yeah.
She gets excited during games. Did you guys know that?
Mom gets pretty excited during games.
Yes, she does. She's like,
And there's the reenactment.
So
of it.
I was on, I got a photo of, I forget who it was. It may have been Tiefenthaler. I forget who it was. They were diving into the end zone, and Kelly Atkins was right there pushing him through the air to the end zone.
That might have been the TWIBA pick of the week, I think. I can't remember.
It was something. If you want that printed for your office or something, just let me know. I can get that for you. But no, it's just moments like that make Bulldog football special, and especially at home. So that we'll go ahead and wrap it up for the week 0 of the Coach's Couch, sponsored by Fisher National Bank. Thank you for staying with us through some technical difficulties, learning in a new location and all that, and getting everything figured out. We'll be ready to go next week, and I think next week is Thursday. It's going to be
That's right. The change, RZ. Next Thursday instead of next Wednesday. That's
Yes.
right. And like we said earlier at the beginning of the show, we'll have some players on. We'll have some coaches on. Go back to the normal format, if you will.
Yeah. We'll get back to the format that you guys have always been used to with the different segments, coaches, players, and all that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So we'd like to go ahead and let's shout out our sponsors real quick. Our segment sponsors are Bergwald Eye Center, the Bill Craig team at Remax Realty Associates, Jody O'Malley with J Collective Homes, This Week in Bulldog Athletics, the Bulldog Gridiron Club, our couch sponsors, Alex and Amy Giorgio, and Twist and Shout, Dance and Cheer. So if you want to be a couch sponsor, contact Ryan Ziegler on all the socials. He'll get you set up. So other than that, make sure you follow this channel so you don't miss an episode. Follow Coach's Couch Mahomet on Instagram and Facebook. Coach, have you got anything else?
I'm good. Thanks again to Smith Burger and RZ and everybody involved.
Okay. That's all we got for now. Until next time, go Bulldogs.
We have 3 fans.